a land not so far away, there lived a man who had earned quite a reputation for his laziness. He was known far and wide as the lazy man because he detested work and constantly sought the easiest way to fill his belly. One fateful day, as the lazy man roamed in search of his next meal, he stumbled upon a lush fruit farm. The sight of ripe, succulent fruits hanging from the branches was too tempting to resist. His desire for an effortless meal overcame his judgment, and he decided to steal some fruit. With stealthy footsteps, he entered the farm and began to climb one of the fruit-laden trees. But just as he was about to pluck his first prize, the farmer appeared on the scene. The farmer's eyes blazed with anger as he shouted, demanding that the intruder come down from the tree. The lazy man's heart raced with fear, and for a moment he considered defying the farmer. But when he saw the farmer disappear briefly, only to return with a menacingly large stick, he quickly scrambled down from the tree and fled towards the nearby forest, fearing the wrath of the farmer. As he hid amidst the trees and foliage, the lazy man's curiosity got the better of him. He noticed a peculiar sight, a fox with only 2 legs crawling along the forest floor. The lazy man couldn't help but wonder how such a creature could survive. After all, it couldn't run or evade danger like other animals. His contemplation was interrupted by the approach of a mighty lion. The forest echoed with the roar of the king of beasts. In an instant, all the other animals in the vicinity scattered in fear, all except the 2-legged fox. The lazy man, eager to save himself from the lion's imminent attack, swiftly climbed a tree for safety. But what transpired next left him astonished. The lion, instead of attacking the fox, placed a piece of meat from his own mouth before the 2-legged creature. The lazy man watched in disbelief as the fox devoured the offered meat, its survival assured by the lion's unexpected act of benevolence. The lazy man marveled at this twist of fate and saw it as a divine message, a sign that God had a plan for every living being. With newfound hope and optimism, the lazy man decided to take a different approach to life. He moved forward, eventually coming across a tree beside the road, where he sat down, anticipating that someone would pass by and provide him with food. Days turned into weeks, and the lazy man continued to wait, hoping for a meal to arrive miraculously. But as time passed, his hunger grew unbearable, and he could no longer ignore the pangs of starvation. Realizing that he needed to take action, he reluctantly left his spot and embarked on a quest for sustenance. His journey led him to encounter an old monk, a wise and compassionate soul. The lazy man recounted his tale of the fox and the lion, explaining how he believed it to be a sign from God. The kind-hearted monk, seeing the man's dire condition, offered him food and water. As the lazy man savored the nourishment, he shared his interpretation of the divine message. The monk smiled and spoke with gentle wisdom. "My friend, it is true that God has a plan for each of us. However, it seems you may have misinterpreted the lesson from the fox and the lion." With curiosity and eagerness, the lazy man listened intently as the monk continued. God does provide, but He also expects us to use the gifts and abilities He has bestowed upon us. The fox received help from the lion, but you see, the lion took the initiative to assist. It was not a message for you to sit and wait passively for good things to come your way. The lazy man's eyes widened as he began to understand the monk's words. He had mistaken God's sign. God did not want him to emulate the fox, waiting idly for fortune to smile upon him. Instead, he was meant to be like the lion, to take charge and to seize opportunities with courage and action. As the lazy man digested this newfound insight, he realized that life was a journey filled with valuable lessons. Every moment held a deeper meaning, and it was up to each individual to decipher those messages. While God cared for all living beings, He also equipped them with the strength and capability to take care of themselves. With gratitude for the monk's guidance, the lazy man vowed to change his ways. He understood that he needed to be proactive, to make efforts, and to be the change he wished to see in his life. God did not intend for him to wait for things to change. He wanted him to be the catalyst for change. As the lazy man continued his journey through life, he carried with him the valuable lesson learned in the forest that day. He vowed never to wait passively, but to be like the lion, bold, determined, and willing to face challenges head-on. He understood that indeed God had a plan for everyone, and part of that plan was to be an active participant in shaping one's own destiny. And so, as he ventured forth, the lazy man embraced each challenge with determination and hope, striving to be the lion that took charge rather than waiting for things to come his way. In this way, he embarked on a new path, one filled with purpose, action, and the promise of a brighter future.